Who's the biggest winner so far in free agency?
Oh, you just talked about him. You just went to the Windy City in your comparison with Jamaica. It's Chicago, the Bulls. My goodness, Chicago Bulls. What a haul this free agency period. First of all, you came back to my home and grabbed Compton's finest, DeMar DeRozan, in the house. DeMar DeRozan, 8 straight seasons, 20-plus points per game average. You now look at DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, who's a beast trying to get the gold for the Olympic team right now in Tokyo. Nikola Vucevic. Don't make me have the Vucevic out here because you see what he did last year. Goodness, 21 and 11 in 26 games. Now you add all that up, and this is how it's going to really get over the top. They got a playmaker, or at least someone who can make plays for you. That's Lonzo Ball. Yeah, y'all remember him, L.A. Y'all remember him, Lakers. Everybody was like, he's a castaway. Lonzo Ball out there eating. Lonzo Ball is a just silent baller. Shot 38% from the three-point line last year. Career high, almost 15 points a game, and still can throw them dimes. So I'm looking at a team that last year, obviously under 500, 11th in the East, 31 and 41, who has the arrow pointing up. Not just because of these names and acquisitions, but for 2 other reasons. Top 10 team, rebounding, 3-point defense, field goal percentage, efficient team. More importantly, they won 6 of their last 8 games. Did I watch a team a year ago win 8 straight games in the bubble and become not only a playoff team, but a team that was in the finals? Man, is there another team that
those dots?
As Coach used to always say, finish strong because we could start stronger. And that looks like the Chicago Bulls.
I liked your take until the end. So, the biggest winner in free agency, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, Chris Paul.
Oh,
because Chris Paul got 4 years, $120 million. He's going to be making $40 million at the age of 40. But here's why he's the biggest winner. Because Chris Paul this year caught the exact same break that Anthony Davis caught during the COVID year. What break is that, you ask? Anthony Davis, during the shortened COVID season, he had us all convinced that he actually could play an entire season and a playoff run healthy. And as a result, we believed the lie that Anthony Davis could stay healthy throughout the playoffs and a regular season until this year we realized, wait a second, we've been fooled, we've been bamboozled. Chris Paul has done the same thing, y'all. 2015, hamstring injury in the playoffs. He missed 2 games. They losing 7 games to the Rockets. 2016, hand injury against the Blazers. They end up losing in 6 games. 2018, hamstring injury. Y'all remember this when Chris Paul is now on the Rockets. They're playing Golden State. They're up 3-2. His hamstring, they end up losing in 7. Chris Paul has shown us when he makes those incredibly deep playoff runs, he's gotten hurt. He almost got hurt this year. Against the Lakers. You all remember the shoulder injury. He missed a little bit of time, ends up missing the game if I'm not mistaken. But he catches COVID. He catches a break. You catch COVID. We don't knock anybody that gets COVID. It's a global pandemic. We're not going to knock you, Chris Paul, for getting COVID. But we're not going to be ignorant to the fact that you got about 10 days off. You end up missing 2 games. Then you drop 41 points in the closeout game against the Clippers, your playoff high of this playoffs. But then you keep playing, and in the NBA Finals against the Bucks, you don't physically wither away, but statistically you start to wither away. You still end up getting 4 years, $120 million. You caught the same break that Anthony Davis caught. I love Chris Paul. I'm a fan of Chris Paul, so I'm glad he caught the break. And that's why he's the biggest winner so far in free agency.
I almost went with you there, Acho, if it weren't for the fact that that 4th year of that $120 million contract is not guaranteed.
Fair.
And not all of the 3rd year is either. So it reduces what he got. Yes, he hit it at the right time, and you point out exactly how he was able to kind of fool us and what he was able to accomplish. But once again, there's only one correct answer to this question, and it is Duncan McBride Robinson. Because I dare you to name anyone from the state of Maine who has made $90 million, other than maybe Stephen King, the novelist, okay? His prospects were so bad coming out of college that he was thinking of coming over to this side of the microphone before even attempting the NBA. Wow. Division three college player. That's where he started. Undrafted, signed a two-way deal with the Miami Heat, which meant he was going to spend half his time in the G League, which he did, and then ultimately signed a 3-year, $3 million deal. He's going from that to a 5-year, $90 million deal. That is an Emmanuel Acho come up right there. There were 81 players who averaged more points than Duncan Robinson this year. One of them being Kendrick Nunn, his teammate, who just signed a 2-year, $10 million deal with the Lakers. 2 years, $10 million. 5 years, $90 million. I think I know who came out on top on that one. And you got guys like Kelly Oubre Jr. and Dennis Schroeder who are still looking for work. My goodness. Nobody did it better. Nobody struck it richer than Duncan Robinson.
Slick, let me ask you this, big dog, because obviously I am a basketball fan. Since I retired from the NFL, fell in love with basketball once again. I don't want to sound like a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm glad they get their money. But explain to me, because you've been covering the game since I've been alive, how does a Duncan Robinson get a 5-year, $90 million deal when a guy like you said, whether it be a Nunn or a plethora of other players, like how does somebody strike that much if they don't appear to be that valuable?
There's a couple of things, but it's right place, right time more than anything else. It's having a skill that is valued within the structure of a particular team. And Duncan Robinson obviously has demonstrated to the Miami Heat that he is going to be focused on continuing to get better. He's going to play his role. And at 6'7" and being the dead-eye shooter that he is, there's look, again, right place, right time. Being a shooter, a three-point shooter who can get his shot off with a team like the Miami Heat that desperately needs that spacing for guys like Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, it's right place, right time. And the fact that he was willing to take a 5-year deal, I think the way the Miami Heat look at it as, we'll make this up on the back end because his skill is not going to depreciate. It's going to be good for us. And the deeper we go into this contract, the more worth we're going to get out of what we're paying him. The jump from $1 million to $15 million the first year, that's pretty steep. But as this contract goes on, it only goes up in increments of a couple million, and their feeling is we'll make it up on the back end.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. He just benefits from shooter's privilege. And we all know what that is. That means you can shoot that ball 41%. You know, Carmelo shot just a tick better than him last year. Didn't shoot as many times, but he certainly shot a higher percentage. Go Duncan Robinson. You know I applaud when you get your bread. But let me hammer down the point of the Chicago Bulls, because I left out somebody, headband man, Alex Caruso. Admit it, valuable. We'll do all the dirty things. We'll do all the things that you don't want to do. Alex Caruso is up to that task. It looks like a complete team in the Eastern Conference. Now, obviously, Brooklyn Nets are in the Eastern Conference. They stay healthy. They're the favorites. They're going to win the East. However, outside of them, and of course the champions, you got to respect Milwaukee, it's wide open. You can say Atlanta. You can say Philadelphia. You can start naming these teams, but come on. Don't act like Chicago can't make a leap to at least get into the bottom of that tier. So they're not tier 1.
Acho.
They may not even be tier 2, but they are coming with all of these new additions.
Go ahead, Slick. What you got, man?
Marcellus, I love what the Chicago Bulls have done. Okay. I think they've made themselves a bona fide playoff team. But goodness gracious, you got to slow that elevator down, brother. You are taking it right to the top.
You told me to slow down the Brooklyn elevator. How'd that look? It looks amazing until it got unplugged. But the Brooklyn elevator, I don't slow it down.
Are we really comparing Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball to Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant?
Yeah, he tried.
Or James Harden. I love what the Bulls have done, and I like it especially because I think the numbers work. Like, they got these guys in their prime with really good numbers. They're not paying outsized contracts. So I like all of it. Zach LaVine, what he's doing with Team USA, again, another plus. These guys complement him. I love all of it. Brother, we got to slow our roll just a little bit. That they are now a contender is a little too much.
All right, there's Brooklyn here, there's Milwaukee, Atlanta, and then here you come, Chicago. Take tier 3.